All of us, including me of course, buy books, watch videos, and crack our head to understand why successful entrepreneurs are successful. How does a person create a company and then years later that same person is worth $150 billion? That's crazy. If you have the same question, don't worry. I have watched videos, read books, talked to people just so that you don't have to. Just in order to understand how an average Joe like you and me can actually find out the formula to be a successful entrepreneur. Or secret, however you want to call it.
If by the end of this video, you still think you don't know what it takes in order to be successful, just DM me on Instagram and then I'll just explain it to you. Come on, let's go.
Although the actual research wasn't something that took a long time, since I have been actively studying what makes people successful for about 3 years now, when I finished the research, I was really shocked. I was shocked with what successful entrepreneurs were saying. Much of it I was already expecting, but much of it I also wasn't.
So before we start putting this formula together, I just want to say one thing. It doesn't matter who you are and it doesn't matter how rich your parents are. Having money won't make you successful. Your parents having money might give you a bit of a kickstart. That's absolutely true, but that will never be the reason why you actually become successful. It is for other reasons. So no, money has nothing to do with this video. So Mateo, there's just one last question here that we always ask on the show, and that is, what do you actually attribute your success to? Yeah, honestly, that's quite an easy question actually, and the answer for that is money 100%. I was born rich, my parents were rich, so I didn't have to work hard, I didn't have any self-doubt about myself, so it's 100% and only money.
So I have structured this chase for the success formula a bit differently than most people would. I try to actually crack what makes people successful. Now, I'm not talking about waking up at 4 in the morning or meditating. Don't get me wrong, these things are really important, definitely. I practice both of them, but they're not characteristics that actually make people successful.
The first characteristic is actually something that I didn't really have to do much research on it, because I simply knew that it had to be here. And it isn't as much as a characteristic as it is something that you simply need to figure out. And that's going to be passion. You simply need to find what you're passionate about. You need to find out what you're willing to wake up early for. You need to find out what you actually care about. Honestly, if you're not passionate about your work, forget it, because only passion will allow you to keep working hard when you're not growing, when you're not making any money, and when no one is watching. Only passion will do that. So if you have no passion, forget it.
Although I have always understood how important passion is, it became even more transparent to me when I watched a video called 50 Entrepreneurs Share Priceless Advice. On that video, most entrepreneurs give the advice that in order to be successful, you need to be passionate about the work.
Do something you're very passionate about.
So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it,
it's a little bit harder, but I think the passion that one might bring with it brings so much more energy to that you're more likely to succeed.
And I'm putting passion here not as one of the pillars for success. It's not even on this formula that we're talking about. Passion is the foundation for everything we're gonna do, because it doesn't matter if you have all these characteristics that we're gonna talk about, but you're not passionate about the work, then you're not being truly successful in life. So now the official first part of this formula is gonna be understanding that failure is part of the success path and never giving up because of it. Hey dude, yeah, look, I'm just calling you to tell you that I failed. That's it for me, Yeah, kinda. Like you either fail or you are successful. I failed. That's it. I'm not good for anything anymore. Forget it.
Understanding that failure is part of the success path is probably the characteristic that most people don't really understand. If I said to someone, I've already failed so many times and that's why I'm getting closer and closer to success, most people will be like, what?
What a bunch of bullshit.
What's this guy talking about? Crazy dude, I'm closing this video right now. But I'm serious here. That's fine if you don't understand that part. It took me a long time to understand why failure is a necessary part of the success. Right now though, it's just so transparent. And I have only realized that after watching many movies about entrepreneurs, such as Wolf of Wall Street and books like Shoe Dog. After reading Shoe Dog for the second time, I realized that failing your way to success is definitely a skill.
Never giving up, man. Honestly, after this one, you can even close this video, because once you actually understand that not giving up is the key to getting where you want to get, you are gonna get there. But don't close the video because we still have other things to talk about. And if I had to give you advice on how you can develop that, for example, I would tell you to do what I did. And that is watching movies about successful people, reading books about successful people. When you start doing that, you realize that all these people who are worthy enough to have their biographies put in history, you're gonna understand that they have all failed. Everyone failed. Everyone had difficulties. No matter how big you are, you have failed at least once. But you don't give up because you understand that that's just how it is. And honestly, I am not gonna give up on trying to make you subscribe to my channel because 50% of people that watch this channel are not actually subscribed. So please subscribe to my channel, activate the bell. You would help me tons.
I just had a great business idea. A business? About what? Something innovative, like a platform for people to share videos and then other people watch them. Right, but these people who make videos, are they like film producers or something? No, they're just like normal people that make videos like you and me. I think you're dreaming, dude. Honestly, I don't think anyone would want to watch videos from people unless they're like film producers or big actors or something. Like why would anyone watch an average Joe's video like you or me? Like, no way.
In case you didn't get what that was about, it was about the vision that it takes for entrepreneurs to be able to visualize their company in the future. That struck to me as a very important one when I was watching movies like The Founder, which is a movie telling Ray Kroc's story, the founder of McDonald's, and The Social Network, which is a movie about Facebook's story. In both of these movies, or in both of these stories, the entrepreneur needed to have the vision that their product was going to work in the future. Why would people buy this? Why would they use this? Why would they even care?
Honestly, when I was watching The Founder and Ray Kroc saw that McDonald's store, he fell in love for the name and for the operation. So it takes a lot of vision to understand that that small store operated by two brothers in San Bernardino, California, had the potential to become something that one day everyone would know. And nowadays, everyone does know. So it just proves how true it actually is.
Since I'm telling you guys how you can develop vision, which I think is a bit of a tough one, but always possible, 2 things that you can do. First, you have to be truthful to yourself. Don't think about the concept of your product as a business owner, but instead think about it as a customer. Why would they buy your product? Why would they care about your brand? And the second one is actually the exact opposite than the first one. Imagining your brand in the future and sometimes even extrapolating its future concept also helps a great entrepreneur to better understand how to position their brand in the present. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I know it's a bit tough, but it's definitely possible.
Even though we're only 2 trades in, I feel like we have just been through so much already. And I think that's mostly because whenever I'm talking here, everything else that I've studied just comes onto my head. It's crazy. Let me tell you about the third one. So the third one comes kind of like that. Imagine you have a company. You have founded this company that you're passionate about. You have failed many times before that, but now you're finally starting to get your shot. But now a problem comes, a problem that no one has ever solved before because you're launching a new product. So no one has ever had to solve the problem that you have to before. What do? It's a tough problem to solve. But what are you going to do? You have to solve the problem. Your company is on the line. Your baby, your life. The trait that allows you to solve this problem and to figure it out is resourcefulness.
Resourcefulness was probably the toughest one to understand why it should be on this list. Because it's not very often that you see successful entrepreneurs saying that you have to be resourceful. So how did I get to this conclusion?
I got to the conclusion that resourcefulness had to be on the list, mostly because all the biographies and all the movies that I've both read and watched, all the big entrepreneurs, they had to solve a problem that had never been solved before so that they could take their company to the next level.
On The Founder, it was Ray Kroc having to figure out how to franchise McDonald's when there was no such thing as technology. And the only way to really know what a store was selling was by going to it. On The Wolf of Wall Street, the problem was that Jordan Belfort had to figure out how to sell penny stocks to wealthy people, which was going to skyrocket his company. The examples don't really stop there.
Welcome to Stratton Oakmont.
The fourth one is going to be something that you have never thought that you will be on this list. It could be on a big list, but when it comes to the formula of success of entrepreneurship and business, having an open mind is just so important to be successful on this field because you're creating something new. Think about it this way. Think about when Amazon started. At that time, Jeff Bezos needed to have an incredibly open mind to understand that one of the core concepts of Amazon, which was and it still is, the obsessiveness about customer experience and customer feedback and why customer is just so important to them. Today, this is what makes Amazon the biggest company in the world. So having this open-mindedness 30 years ago, maybe right now you might be thinking, well, you know, like it's logical. You have to focus on customer experience, right? You need customer feedback in order to grow your company. But that's now. 30 years ago, it wasn't really like that. Imagine if nowadays a crazy entrepreneur comes and tells you that he's gonna focus the core of his company on something like nothing to do with anything. That's exactly what happened to Jeff Bezos and Amazon 30 years ago.
And then finally, we get to the last one. Another one that you might be thinking like, why is this on a list? And that's gonna be creativity. Why would creativity be one of the most important characteristics of a successful entrepreneur? Where are things like people skills and networking with investors?
So although there are many important traits for a successful entrepreneur, according to my study and my analysis, these are the 5 main ones that really build an entrepreneur, that really build the core of a great entrepreneur 99% of the time. And I think that if you really want to develop yourself, you can focus on these ones if you want to have a shot on playing on the big leagues. And that's exactly why I think entrepreneurs need to be creative, because it's not only about business. Because in the end, look, you need to be a creative person because you're creating something that has never been created before. You're figuring out something new to provide value to people.
Let's talk about a quite common approach. We were talking about McDonald's before. If today someone wanted to create another McDonald's, you would probably fail because there's already McDonald's. What do you do now that there's already McDonald's? You create a hamburger chain that has a proposition not of price and speed, which is Macca's case, but gourmet food and health. That's just an example, but that's why nowadays there are so many small gourmet burger chains that pride themselves so much on how they source their product. You need creativity to do that. If you wanted today to launch a burger chain, what would your concept be?
Although watching this video might be a great help for you to understand what actually makes a great entrepreneur, I absolutely encourage you to at least watch the movies, okay? Maybe you don't have time to read. Maybe audiobooks are not your thing, and that's fine. I understand that. But at least by watching the movies, you're already making yourself a big favor. Not really because movies are gonna explain you how to reach the top, because movies show us that all these people that were worthy enough to be in a movie are just normal people. They've also made mistakes. They have also felt lost one day. They most likely started broke as an entrepreneur, and that's fine. So that's the biggest lesson that I take out of all these biographies that I read and that I watch, is that I can also do it, and so can you. If I had to pick only one, however, that would be the first one, because not giving up is definitely going to be the core of every successful entrepreneur. And also because not giving up is something that I have to practice every single day, because every day I think about giving up. Every day I think to myself, am I doing something worthy? Whatever I'm doing right now is going to be meaningful for me and for my future. I hope this video really helped you to understand something about success and what makes a great entrepreneur. And I also hope that this video made you understand that although you might be suffering on your entrepreneurship journey, honestly, you're not suffering by yourself, because I'm probably suffering just as much as you, so you're not alone. Bye.